Welcome to the Startup Passport by eConsulate. We're at the Upstream Festival today, and we're joined by Sam Feldt.
Hello.
Thank you for joining. Normally you play at different kinds of festivals, music festivals, in front of hundreds, thousands of people. How did you enjoy the Upstream Festival today so far?
It's good. Like I've done Web Summit in the past. Like I really love tech conferences and speaking about the intersection of music, business, and tech, where I'm at basically. And it was a good chat. Yeah, we talked about how I got started and stuff. So it was interesting. And it's actually. It's in the Netherlands, so it's always easy on a work day. And I have a kid now, like I said, so I like this festival. It's in the afternoon. I can go back and still be in time to feed my baby.
And how are you involved in the entrepreneurial ecosystem? You're an entrepreneur yourself.
Yeah,
we
correct.
Can say that. So you're a DJ, entrepreneur, dad, 3 full-time jobs more or less.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, I DJ. Of course I make music as well, so produce. And then I have the Heartfelt ecosystem, which is basically my group of companies. Heartfelt Records, Heartfelt Publishing. We have events. We have Heartfelt Foundation, which is a non-profit for sustainability in the music industry. And then outside of that, I built and sold Fangage, which is a platform where creators can create their own platform and be less dependent on social media to reach their audiences. And we sold that to Triller in 2022. So I do a lot of things. Yeah, I'm a busy guy. Yeah.
When was the moment for you where you found out, hey, I'm not only a DJ, I can turn this into something big. I can work on many different things, be an entrepreneur. Because you would imagine, hey, you start off DJing, you enjoy music, but then there's the point where you feel like you can make the switch. So how did that look for you?
So for me, it was the other way around. So I started as an entrepreneur when I was 13 years old. I dragged my dad to the Chamber of Commerce to get me registered because I was a minor. And of course, you can't legally form a company when you're 13. And it was a web shop. It was an e-commerce store, basically drop shipping products like electronics from China to the Netherlands. And that's like 16 years ago. So before all the gurus took over and scammed everybody with courses. But so I was drop shipping. That was my first business. So, and I was DJing also a little bit back then, but not really. But it was always my dream to make DJing my career. I just never thought it was possible. So I always had my sights on, being an online entrepreneur as I was. And then I just DJed on the side, and then I got a hit, and then everything changed. Yeah.
And how much do you think are DJs also entrepreneurs? I feel like every DJ who's known right now is first of all also a producer. Everyone you know for certain songs, for having their own sound. But do you think there's also an entrepreneur in every DJ in a sense?
I don't think in every DJ, but I think if you look at the examples of DJs that last long and build, legacies like Tiesto, David Guetta, Calvin Harris, yes, they're all very entrepreneurial. They invest wisely. They know what they're doing. They're building a business, not just a career, but a brand, and they make sure that it stays relevant, throughout the years. If you look at Tiesto, he started as a trance DJ and then moved into EDM and house, and he kind of follows. And spots styles really quickly to make himself even more relevant, and he's over 50 years old already. So yes, the good ones I think are entrepreneurial.
And did you see any changes in the industry now? We have AI now, we have phones that are getting better. They're literal mixers you can put on your phone, whatever, you can do little mixing sessions with that. Do you feel like the music industry, DJ industry is changing a lot as well?
Yeah, I think some layers of it are, of course you can go to Sono and render out a song in a minute. So yes, I mean AI definitely is going to take over parts. It's going to be easier, of course, to, for example, if you don't have a vocal, AI can do that vocal. That's already possible, and it saves you a lot of time recording. And then, once you get to the final production, you can always get someone to sing it, but at least you have a vocal. So I think there's AI that can help producers in a lot of ways, but I think DJs will not be replaced because people just want to see people, right? If you go to a concert, you want to see a guy or a girl or a band or whatever on stage live and not like some AI thing, I think. So I think my job's safe for now.
And how much of your work would you say is still DJing, producing, and how much is the brand Sam Feldt?
Yeah, I mean, the DJing is 2% because it's 1 hour or 2 hours of a day, maybe every weekend. Maybe I do 2 shows, so that's maybe 3 hours in 24 times 7. So that's a very small percentage. A lot of it is traveling, which kind of comes with the job. And then producing and building businesses is something I do throughout the week. But I built Heartfelt in a way where it's an ecosystem where all the companies feed into each other. So when we sign an artist on Heartfelt Records, we help him get songs on publishing. We promote it on Heartfelt Radio. We book him at the Heartfelt events, and then 1% of all that flows back into the foundation. And by streaming his music, you actually make the world a little bit greener. So. It's not that I have to spend a lot of time on it because every minute spent helps the whole ecosystem. It's like synergy, but it's a little bit of a cheesy word to use, but that's what I try to do.
And in terms of traveling, is there one day in particular that you can remember where you had many shows at one day, crazy travel stories? Is there anything that's top of your head?
Well, I mean, New Year's Eve usually is quite busy. I once did 2-3 shows in Brazil. That was actually the moment where I realized I wanted to do something about sustainability because I was in a private jet and I was never raised that way. My mom and dad are hippies, vegetarians. Like we always had our own food in the garden. So, and then I wasn't sitting in a private jet doing 3 shows. It's like, maybe I can change something and inspire other people to do the same. But anyway, yeah. I mean, yeah, there's been days where it's been stressful, but to be honest, like the shows aren't stressful. That's when the release is. It's more like everything in between, like just being away from home, being lonely, missing important dates, and stuff like that. That's the downside.
But overall, do you think it's even possible as a DJ if you have, let's say, 2 events at the same day and you have to use a private jet to fly from one country to another one? Do you think it's even possible to be sustainable in the business that you're in?
Well, I always see it this way. Like, what would happen if I didn't do that show? I think a lot of people would actually fly to me. So if I would only play in the Netherlands, for example, all German people would fly to the Netherlands, but also American people would fly to the Netherlands. Like that's a lot more people than me and my tour manager flying somewhere else. So I think touring overall is sustainable because it helps people like see your music locally. But yeah, when you're taking a jet, I rarely take a jet, maybe once a year when it's just not possible otherwise to do it. Yeah.
And last question to finish it off for other interviews or podcasts. What's the number one question everyone asks Sam Feldt that you cannot hear anymore? Is there one?
Oh, that's a good one. I think it's if I get tired of my own music, that's something that people ask, and it's in some way you get tired of it because I've listened to Show Me Love tens of thousands of times right now, and also when you're in the studio you're making a song and you're repeating the same part 1,000 times, tweaking the kick, and that kind of only when it gets released is when I can see it as a consumer again. Before that is like a producer. So a little bit elaborate, but like that's a question I often get.
No, it's a good thing I didn't ask it, but I still got the answer for that. So thank you very much, and thank you very much for joining for that.
Cheers. Thank you.